All right, everybody, welcome to our December Grand River Wood Turners Guild meeting. My name's Doug Brinks. I am the president, the current president of this organization, and I welcome everybody. I see some new faces out there.
Love that tie.
You love this tie?
Oh, it's great.
I got up this morning and I said I'm going to wear a tie today. I was going to wear a tie with snowmen on it because I'm turning snowman. And then I remembered that a year ago my wife gave me a tie with me making snowmen on it. She had it custom made. So I thought, well, that's perfect. So it's a tie with me at the lathe turning snowmen. So appropriate. We want to welcome all of our anybody here visiting today. Do we have anybody visiting that wants to say, hey, I'm visiting and talk about themselves? We got a hand in the back. Yeah. Are you new? What's your name? Dennis. All right, Dennis. You from the area apparently? Good. Did you, how'd you find us? Okay. All right, well, we won't hold that against you. You've been turning along or not? Just getting started. Got a lathe, though, right? Okay, well, all right. Well, hopefully you'll learn something today. Okay. We have another one up front here. All right, welcome. Anybody else? Yes.
My name is Tim from Hudsonville, and I was invited by Mike. So
all right.
Just getting started and interested in learning more.
Okay, got a lathe? Okay, it's a good start. What's that? Wow. That's random. Found out you live close to each other. We have another person back here. What's your name? Hi, Gary. Okay. All right. Good to hear. That's the person you were talking to. Okay. Okay. For members right now, our dues is $35. That includes all of next year. And for your dues, you get a pretty good bang for your buck, I think. We're only $35. Our raffle table's a little thin today. I forgot to bring in stuff. I've just been too busy. But normally we have a table full of raffle stuff. We have a library. We have a sharpening station back there. A couple of them, as a matter of fact, with Wolverine set up. If you have tools and you don't have a sharpening station, you're welcome to bring your tools down and get them all sharpened up. We have our library back there that you can check out books. We have mentors scattered around the area, so if you're looking for someone to help you out with something, or you just want to hang out with somebody for a couple hours, our newsletter lists all the mentors and their contact information. I'm one of them. We're happy to have you come out to our shop for a few hours and hang out and and see what we're doing, or help you with what you're doing, or whatever blows your hair back. So those are some of the benefits of being a member of this group. Let's see. Dues are due. This is the month that we really start looking for people to pay their dues for next year. We are probably the cheapest guild in Michigan, I think. Our dues are pretty reasonable. We have our dues, we make enough off all of our stuff here that we can. Last year we brought in 3 professional turners, and it didn't hurt our budget too much. We have 3 of them lined up this year, so our dues help pay to bring those people in, so we can do some workshops and things like that, and have a nice meeting with a nice demonstration. So that's one of the things that your dues goes for. We don't have our rest of our demonstrations set for this year. We've had some obstacles in getting that meeting around. Normally right now we've already sat down and done that. But we plan on getting together via Zoom meeting. If you're interested in working with us to get some demonstrations in here, right now we have our professionals all hired for the year, but we're just looking to round up local members to fill in 7 or 8 more months worth of wood turning. So if you have something you want to see, if there's something we haven't demonstrated or something we've demonstrated and you want to see it again, let me know, or let Pete know, or Rich know. Let one of us know, because we're starting to make a list of things and ideas. Or if there's somebody you say, hey, I want to see this person do something, let us know, you know. And if you're interested in being on our committee, we'll sit down, and what we do is we decide, okay, this is what we want to try to round up. These are the people we're going to try to task with doing that, and then we divvy it up, who's going to contact who, and try to get that person lined up to fill in our schedule so we have a full year of demonstrations. You know, and I think we have pretty good demonstrations. We put quite a bit of effort into it, so that's coming up. So if you want to be involved with that in any way, let me know. Today we're going to do our Ron Den Broner Award to 2 different members. One of the pieces will be judged by the people here in the room. We're going to do a people's choice. And then another, that'll be $100 to that person. And then we're going to do another $100 to a juried pick that our leadership board will pick. And what we're going to do is when you come up for show and tell us about your piece. There's a bunch of these styrofoam cups on the middle table back there. So if you have a piece that you want to be into the Ron Den Broner Award, grab a cup and put it in front of your piece. And then what we will do for the people's choice, there's another container back there with a bunch of beads in it. Everybody in the rooms gets pick their top 2 turnings that they like, and take 2 beads, put 1 bead in each of those cups. So you're voting for who you like by a bead. So grab a couple beads and make your 2 choices, and then we'll tally up the beads for the people's choice, and then our leadership board will pick a jury choice. And I think that's about all I have right now before show and tell. Is there something I'm missing, anybody? Anybody got something I should have said and didn't say? A lot of people have been asking about Ron Campbell. Now I think about it. I think he went home on Thursday. We don't know. Or Friday, maybe. Yeah, that he. But have you seen anything that he is home? Yeah, I haven't seen anything that he is home. So, but he was posted that he was going home, which was great because there was a time where he didn't think he might not ever go home again. So yeah, so we're really happy that he's home and doing better. You know, he walked 3,000 steps the other day, which is pretty good. So he's obviously come a long ways in the last 3 weeks. So that's the news on Ron. So with that, let's go and jump into show and tell. Bring your piece up, set it on the table, talk into the mic, tell us your name, and tell us about your piece. We have a little monitor here so you can see how your piece looks on the camera. And then bring it back there, set it on the table, and put a styrofoam cup in front of it so we can all vote for it. There goes my notes that I don't need anymore because I think I'm done. Thanks. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning. My name's Colleen. I took a class last month and I missed you guys, but the guy taking the class with me gave me this handmade little leather journal, and I thought, well, I can turn a pen for that. So I tried one with the Bic that, you just shove it in there, and I don't love Bic pens, so tried another one where I drilled a smaller hole so that the tip of the pen can come through, yep, and then the bigger hole so that the cartridge, and then glued the 2 pieces together. So I'm not holding it up to you. I was leaving it for the camera. But
hang on, he's working on it here.
I'm above too fast. So That one I'm pretty happy with because it's a little bit nicer to write with. Then I've been trying a couple of boxes, and I was surprised by this one because I had the chunks of wood in my garage, which is not heated. It's very cold right now. For probably 2 years, all 3 of these pieces were in there, and then after being in the house for a little bit, it got loose. I didn't think that was supposed to happen, but I don't know. I've been playing around with lots of boxes and lots of finials. This one I actually dropped, but I was like, nope, it's too good. I glued it back together. So I don't know. I've been turning for 2 years, and what I'm able to do today is because of what I've seen from you and taking the class with Sally Alt. So I really appreciate you guys.
Good. Hi, I'm John Barron. This is this hollow form here is my first attempt at carving spirals or anything on the surface. I moved a couple years ago from a barn where I had and woods where I could haul shavings and not have to worry about it to a garage where I'm trying to do projects that take longer and create less waste. So this is my first attempt. I believe it's cherry. It was a dried piece of log that had, I think I got it here in one of the auctions, and it had anchor seal on it, and I tripped over that thing, kicking it around in my shop for a couple years, and finally decided I had to do something with it. So that's what it is. I call it incomplete because I'm still working on the top. Made a couple tries and I wasn't satisfied with them, and I have some more ideas. You learn from your mistakes, so I'll have that, and I'll probably bring it back once I get that done and show you how the final product. So, thank you.
Good morning. As most of you know, I'm Gary Humphreys. I'm on the board and I'm participate in the dues and the secretarial type things. Already, we're not quite to January, about 70% of you have already paid your dues. So this is a very diligent, good group of people. So I want to start out by saying I got introduced here when I retired 3 years ago. Jeff Grill was a friend, is a friend, and a mentor, and I just love this stuff. As I've said in other meetings, I like wood. I like the grain. I like the skill, and I really like the people. I see people with so many very good skills, and one of the things Jeff, who was an architect, said, Gary, you don't just put a chunk of wood in the lathe and start turning. You should have envisioned what you're going to turn that chunk into. And he is so meticulous, he usually had his already drawn out for the silhouette. And so I've tried to do that, and I brought some of the mistakes that in my mind's eye, as I was imagining what could I make, this nice wavy one. So this is all just a 1/4 inch thick all the way through, but it looked much better in my imagination. So that's a failure. And then I've tried some square forms, and I thought, well, if you do it right, you can make it look like a flower, a tulip, but no, that one failed too. So a couple failures, but I like wood and I like the various grains and things, and through the year I've brought in a number of pieces that I've tried to do in beech, but I have a lot of nice friends. You cut down a fresh green beech tree, and in the last February, cutting those sections out of a tree this big around and hauling them and cutting them down the middle and all that processing. I would say 75% of them just split so severely I couldn't use them. And trying to learn that process, well, how do you process beech so that it doesn't check and split and is worthless? One came through that this is a piece of beech, and I like the color, the grain. It turns very well if it's not cracked to smithereens. So I thought I'd show that, yes, the interesting things, when I was getting frustrated and I left 2 half logs in my garage for about 7 months, and I have the moisture meter, I would check the moisture. Hey, this is coming down nicely. We're down to 8%. And then I took it up to Jeff because he's got a industrial size bandsaw, and we cut the big circle, and it was beautifully spalted. And that's in the past couple months I brought in some of those spalted bowls that just beech really spalts beautifully. And then the final comment is with woods and beauty. This is a cocobolo wood that Ken just told me yesterday when we were setting up that you can't get it in this country anymore. They can't import it, but it already has to be in this country. And a friend gave me the blank. When I freshly turned that, it was like a rainbow. And I've got a couple pictures on my phone that it was bright orange and red and purple. And wow, it's really something. But within the week of being exposed to air and the oxidation, the colors changed and muted down, but it's still one that I think is a beautiful wood and beautiful grain. So that I really enjoy wood turning. I enjoy the wood, and I enjoy the camaraderie here. Yesterday in the mail, I got a Christmas card that this elderly Catholic nun who's been a long-term friend of mine added a few chuckles. One is, the older I get, the earlier it gets late. And I had my patience tested. I'm negative.
I'm Steve Payne, and I do a lot of turning at the museum. I say a lot, once a week. I had brought the ball bats in earlier, a couple months ago, and I let them take the entire sales on that. And last I checked, they were $1,400 worth of ball bats they've sold. But now I'm always looking for something different, so now I'm going with the little birdhouses. Can we run a video here, Doug? It's a picture of the display I made for that. Yeah, this is supposed to be a little carousel at the museum, and that's the display piece. Anyway, I don't know how well it'll sell because we did just start it. So, all righty, appreciate it. And the snowman just shows you an example of some of the demonstration we had several years ago. We had a gal come from Ohio to do a demonstration on these snowmen, and this is pretty much the type of thing she had, and they were pretty interesting, I thought. So much, that's it.
Where did you get the little birds on your feet?
Yes.
Where did you get them?
3D printed.
Oh, you printed them?
Yeah. If anybody wants any, I can make a handful of them at a time.
All right. I'm Mike McClung, and last month I won the Ringmaster, and it was a challenge to me to see if I could make it work. The first attempt, I couldn't find a manual on it anywhere, so I just tried to reason it out, and it came out so bad you couldn't even glue it together. And then after hours of searching, I found a manual, and it has a chart in there about how to set it up. And then I got something that was pretty close, but still not good enough. And then I thought, this front of this is pretty loose. It was missing a part, and the blades weren't aligned. So I aligned the blades a little better and put some extra parts in there and firmed up the carriage. And then it's actually getting pretty close. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you always end up with a bowl with a hole in the middle. And but anyway, I proved that it does work. Yeah.
I'm Ray Lanninga. You should know this is not museum quality stuff here. We have a half-mile trail in the woods around our house, so we don't have to walk on a busy street. And we need to have a little interest here and there. And so I've made about a dozen mushrooms, different shapes, different color. So it's kind of fun. I know spring isn't here yet, but I'm hopeful. And the wood is treated lumber, nothing special. Yeah. Is that glued together? That's a big piece of treated lumber. Yeah, it's glued together. Yeah. Then I use a Dremel to texture the edges. And I mount it on a piece of re-rod in the ground. Fair enough.
See if I can make this thing work. I'm Jim Rosen. Been a member here for a number of years and really enjoy the monthly meetings, and put together this lighthouse. And it's got a little light on the inside, and the battery's kind of low, so it doesn't last real long. But it's made up of 12 segments. The segments are bird's eye maple, walnut, and ambrosia maple on the bottom. The base is, I cut it out as the shape of Michigan, and a friend of mine painted the outside edge to look like water around the outside of Michigan. So it all comes apart, and it was a real pleasure to make, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you. By the way, this is the flooring in our family room right now. It's teak flooring, so I thought it's something big enough to make the state of Michigan out of. So there's a hole in the floor right now. There's a hole in the floor, right? We put a carpet over it.
Hi, I'm Jim. These are a couple burls I got here. Actually, I got them from Doug. And I put this on the lathe and I turned it down and stuff started falling off. So that's when I quit. And this one, I couldn't figure out how to turn it without losing half the. So there's no turning there. I just used a router, cut it down, and then dremeled the inside. And I thought it looked kind of cool. So there you go.
Hi, I'm Bruce Dannenhauer. All the commissions are finally done, and I get to play in the shop. So they're stocking stuffers and ornaments for my tree. I've been playing around with the Spectra ply, which is what the globe is. I don't know, where are we? And part of my concern was that it would have holes in it and all, because it's wood glued together, but it's pretty solid. They do a really nice job with it. And of course the finial is African blackwood. All of these are just got a wax buff finish on them. You know, it's quick and easy. When you start, you know, Christmas Eve, when you're trying to get that project done, that's not the time to start playing with putting finish on. But these are a multi-axis. Has anybody ever done these little ones? Yeah. They're kind of fun.
What do you make the noses
The nose is Paduk. Paduk. Because it holds its color. Most of the woods will either go dark or whatever, and Paduk will stay the same color. So.
Good morning, Tom Sampson. Oops. I donated the Ringmaster, so I'm glad to see you. Had some luck there. More luck than I had. So earlier in the year, had a friend who had a huge maple that came down, and it was full of a variety of ants. I'm not even sure if they were native because some of them were like an inch and a quarter. Anyway, I thought that'd be a good, if I could put some epoxy in there. So how this evolved, I got the original shape, bored out most of the inside, put a wooden plug in there just to save on epoxy, and then wrap the outside with like foam paper, so something that's impervious, or acetate, and then you get an annulus, right, then I can pour the epoxy in. I did some smaller ones with putting it in a pressure pot. Still got little pinholes. I was also buying some longer set epoxy, and that's what these two were from, where it really doesn't harden up until about 3 days later, so there's a lot of time for the air to come up, and then you can tip it and poke things down in there and get bubbles out. I still had holes here and there, and then I saw Pete's demo on the UV epoxy, and then that really helped out to just fill in a couple holes here and there and use the UV light, and then fills in those pinholes. So
did you have any trouble with the two different types of resin, the UV and the other?
like adhering to each other, I think they adhere pretty good. And I talked to you a little bit about if I had a really deep hole, and I kind of tried to layer it in, but there were still a couple times where it actually weeped out after I thought I was done, so I had to re-hit it with a UV light. Okay.
Hi, my name's Doug Brinks. These are my dysfunctional snowmen. I posted them online, and then a couple comments came back from my friends. What is it, like high winds, or are they drunk? What are these snowmen? I decided they were dysfunctional. I didn't want to insult any alcoholics in the room, myself included. So these are my. When we decided I was doing this, which when we left our meeting on what we're going to do this month, we left it pretty much undecided that I would just choose something. But then Dave Bungie posted on Facebook that Doug's going to make us dysfunctional snowmen. So I guess he decided what I was going to do. He's not here online today for me to give a hard time to, so I'll have to get him next time. So anyway, these are my snowmen. This is our demonstration today. So hang around, and we'll show you how to make these.
Well, my name is Rich, and we were talking about Ron Campbell. He had a little workshop this summer on dry brushing, and most of the guys there I didn't recognize from this group, so I think he found them on Facebook or something. It was really enjoyable, and I had this piece of ash, and maybe you can see there's natural wormholes in there, And I think I had already started turning this vessel thinking, well, this is not going to turn into anything. So, but I brought it that day this summer, and this is done with a Fordham. It's like a Dremel with different bits to get the texture. But the funnest part was the dry brushing, and that's where you get these colorations. Maybe I'll just turn it a little bit. That is just a weird design. I'm not sure I like that little spot there. And a little bit on the bottom. Anyway, it just turned out fun. My wife doesn't like it because of the worms, and I do like it because of the worms. So that's it.
Hello, my name's Tom Penninga. First of all, I want to thank all the mentors who came last month and helped the New City Kids Turn. I think most of the mentors had a good time. The kids had a fantastic time. Ken was telling me that the owner of Woodcraft was all excited about all these kids and the big smiles on their faces, so we'll probably plan on doing that again in the future. But it's a real opportunity to help out some kids and show them something that they have never done before, so that was great. Thank you. I brought this in a couple months ago, but for $100 I'll bring it back. But this is a Babinga, and I kind of watch Marketplace for somebody who's getting out of wood turning, and I went there and he had all this pen material, which I don't usually do pins, but then he had one big chunk of Babinga, and to find a piece, it was 1 inch thick and that size, and that's pretty rare. I have not seen it before, and I don't think I'll probably see it again, but it turned into a beautiful platter, and that's Wipe on Poly.
Plus, it's fun to say. Babinga.
Yeah, it is. And I think you can still import Babinga, but usually you find it in pins or small Christmas tree ornaments or small stuff like that, and it's expensive. So, anyway, thank you.
Okay, now we're going to go online. If you are online and you want to do a show and tell, raise your hand. You know, on the bottom of your screen, there's a little thing that says raise hand. Go ahead and click on that. Right now, we're going to jump to Ruby. She's got her hand up. So let me remove my pin here. And let's go to Ruby and let's spotlight her. Ruby, you're on.
Okay. I did a few little Christmas themed things, and I started out with these trees just made out of posts from pallet boards. And then I decided to add a little decoration. So this one I turned a star on it. Okay. But mostly what I've been doing, the wood mill called and said, you know, can you do some spindles? So I started out with doing some like this, and I ended up doing about 100 of those.
Jeez.
And then the contractor decided he wanted some from the same shape but a little different thickness. So he got the same shape but a different thickness and crappy wood. So they've mostly all been made out of either oak or fir. And on the side here, I have taped to it, so I don't forget, is the storyboard that I use when I'm making all these spindles. So I think probably in the last month, I've done a couple hundred of them.
Wow.
That's why I haven't been doing a lot of really great turning lately. And that's it for me.
Okay. Do we have anybody else online with anything?
Pete Meyer has something.
Oh, I see. He's got his hand up. Here we go. Pete, unmute your mic. And let me I'll spotlight you. You're muted, I think. Can't hear you. Well, we'll try and read your lips, I guess. it looks,
He's unmuted, but we can't hear him.
I know there's something wrong with his microphone. So, inlaid some tiles on there, so, and the tiles are, we're trying to guess what this is.
It's a
21
iridescent glass.
There you go. Now you're on. Okay.
Oh, you hear me now?
Now you're working. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a piece of ash that I put a little liming wax in the grain, and it has iridescent tiles that I picked up from Amazon. Uh, Pretty basic to do. You cut a groove and get them to fit, and you have to work with the spacing a little bit to get it to work out, but they kind of dress up the rim of a bowl and something pretty easy. I've done quite a few of them lately, so
All right.
lots of nice work on here.
Okay. Anybody else online? So let's see if we can remove those hands up. Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll do our demonstration.